In this video, I'm going to share 4 lessons I learned working as a head of operations in a coding bootcamp. So my name is Haris and I am the founder of edugrow.org, where I help tutors or educationpreneurs to grow their business. So let's get started on the first lesson, which is essentially hiring well makes a huge difference. So let me share you a story about my ex-team member. Let me call him John, where I was hiring him or hired him as to be our instructor. So during the interview, there were some good signs that I actually got off from him. So number one, in the interview process that I had to do in the coding bootcamp was to give assignments, which I highly recommend if you were to hire, because that's the best way to find someone if someone is technically competent in terms of doing a job. So John was putting a lot of effort, or had put a lot of effort in the job interview assignment that I gave him. And the thing is that it was like I could see he really put in a lot of effort, right? And the second thing was that I was also asking about his previous experience as well. And one thing that really caught to me as a good sign was that in his previous internship, he used to work after hours, and I asked why. It's because he wanted to do his own work and also do his own learning. And that is something that I resonate a lot, because back when I was like a junior or even an intern, I do work a lot as well, because genuinely I want to improve. And the thing is that that is something that is a very good sign, because it's aligned to me and also to the company as well. So the result was that I used to be an instructor and I was hiring him to take over my place. And he has 100% become a better instructor, because number one, he used to be my student. He saw how I teach, and then after that he improved on it, right? And I always tell him like John, you are always a better instructor. You are a better instructor. And they say no lah. It's like, and I always show him feedback from students who see their recordings of him teaching, and they have good comments about it as well. And I still share, even though he's not working for the previous company as well, right? And then second thing is that because of that, he was able to do tasks independently. The job assignment, or the interview job assignment, we did have some instructions, but it wasn't like super detailed, but he was able to do it independently before getting hired. And that translates to the job itself, because of course we give tasks to our employees, and the thing is that he was able to do it independently as well, which is amazing. And lastly, because my values align with him, where we work hard together, it's honestly I really enjoy working with John. Is because we align to a lot of things, right? So these are things that has made my working experience with John really good, and that's why I feel like he's one of the best employees that I hired in a way, right? So I really like that. So hiring well is 80% of creating a team, right? Because the values that you want in your team is very important. And for me, it's in all honesty, working more than what's needed and working independently is something that I look for in my business. Hopefully I can generate more revenue on that, right? Okay, so the next lesson is follow a business system, and it works for a reason, right? So my previous employer, or the founder, Derek, we were trying to improve the company as a whole. And one thing that he found out when he joined this business group called EO, one of the team members actually shared with him this business system called Entrepreneur Operating System, or EOS. And both of us, because he was the founder and I'm the, in a way, right-hand man, we both agreed that EOS actually is a very good system to work with, because it has a lot of processes that we can just follow. And honestly, the main advantage of following a business system like EOS is that it reduces the time to do guesswork. Because guesswork means that I need to go through trial and error, learn from it, and then like it might take months to just see what your experiment is. While a business system, most of the time, I think has already gone through the trial and error for you and gives you the best practices that you just need to follow, right? And the thing is that it's not like, how to make more revenue kind of thing. The EOS is mainly about people and mainly about hiring and also planning as well, right? Prioritization, right? Quarterly planning. So for me, I'm a person who really cares about like people, because people literally will make or break your business. So I'm going to share a bit about like EOS in terms of like how they do hiring in a sense. So there is this thing called GWC. So G stands for get it. So when you want to hire someone, does this person get what the job description is, right? So for example, if I were to hire you as a content marketing person, do you get it what content marketing means, right? So that's where in a way we will do the job interview assignment so that we know whether this person gets what the job requires. Later on, I will share a bit about the C part, which is also going to test in terms of whether this person is technical in terms of, or whether this person is able to pick up the technicalities or the abilities to do the job. So the W is essentially, I call it enthusiasm. Does this person want the job itself, right? So to share a bit, how I got my first software developer job that I really wanted, in essence, right, was enthusiasm. I was like really sharing, like literally the interviewer or my ex-employer back then say, Haris, I can see that you're very enthusiastic about Flutter. And that's a great point about it. So Flutter, it's essentially a mobile app framework, and it's a type of technology that I wanted to be a developer for, right? And that's where like want it is like, to me, the way to show someone that you are someone who wants it, right? Enthusiasm. And then lastly, C is basically capacity to do it. So this is where you will see if someone has the talent, skills, abilities, time, and knowledge to do the job, right? Essentially, if in my experience, if I were to hire a junior, then it will make, that means I need to train the person. That means the capacity for this person is quite low. And it depends on the company that you are running, whether you want to hire juniors or seniors, right? So juniors essentially is just, they lack in terms of the technicalities, the ability to do the job. And it's okay, because I think back then, John, he's a junior, he was a graduate. And the thing is that he, in a way, learned coding from our coding bootcamp, and also learned how to teach from me, and he was able to perform. And that's amazing, because like in essence, he was learning the job before applying for the job, in a sense, right? Which is great. And the thing is that I can just improve on whatever John has already done it. And the thing is that this is such a good framework in terms of how to hire, because this is where you'll be able to not in a way go through your gut feeling, but you have a framework in terms of following, right? So the third lesson, so before EOS, to just share how me and Derek felt before when we implemented EOS, we were like confused on who are good people, who are people who might not be a fit for the company. But after EOS, we can finally follow a framework. So we don't have to do a lot of second guess, we don't have to discuss. It's like, okay, does this person hit the GWC? If not, then maybe this person is not for the right seat. Right seat means this is not the role for this person. Maybe we find another role, right? And then if you want to find the right person, which is essentially values aligned, that's where we do this thing called people analyzer, right? So these are things that me and Derek probably would not come up with, but we just follow, and EOS has been a very good change and continually has made the company better over time. So the next lesson that I learned is communication. Essentially for me, I'm a very independent person in terms of working, but after I realized working, especially with Derek or the founder, is that since I'm the right hand man, communication is super important as well. So my mistake was that I didn't communicate enough, because essentially I'm like a, in a way, lone wolf lah, right? Whenever I work, and I don't really ask for help, right? So asking for help, I really don't ask for help, and essentially that's something that I, in a way, maybe it's my, I think, okay, not maybe, I know it's my ego, because like, oh, I'm like the second hand, I should be able to handle everything. And one thing I should be more is like a bit more vulnerable. Even sharing this has, I mean, it made me a bit nervous sharing this, but essentially like I need to communicate to the person that I'm working for to say that I don't have the capacity to do all the work that's given to me. And I realized as a second or right hand man, my job was to, which will be the next next lesson I learned, is delegation. Because I thought being a leader was like, okay, I must do every single thing, every single task that Derek gives to me, I must do, right? But as a leader in EOS, or the Entrepreneur Operating System, I need to do this thing called LMA. L stands for lead, M stands for manage, A stands for holding accountable, right? They should have a D, that means delegate. So what this means is that if I'm given a task, I must give the task to someone else. So in a way, it's like, I'm like shooting the dust, right? They give me the task, I shoot. And then for me, it's like, after I give the task to the person responsible, then I need to hold accountable to the person doing the task, right? Saying, okay, what's the update? Do you need help? Do you need support? Answering their questions as well, and also to check the work as well, right? And then that's in a way manage, right? Hold accountable is to just make sure that the people do the work. Manage is see where the task, and then lead is to essentially, in my opinion, lead is to essentially make or direct the people that are working under me to the right direction and the right prioritization. So for example, if a student is unhappy, then we should prioritize the student rather than other tasks, right? Because, you know, the students are the ones that we are serving, right? Because we are essentially an education company or a service-based company. So we need to, in a way, serve the customer first, right? We're not a products company, physical products, customer first. So that is essentially what I learned so far as being the head of operations. So yeah, I think that's it. Essentially, the 4 lessons that I learned is, number 1, hiring, very, very important. Number 2, follow, you know, a business operating system, helps a lot. Number 3 is that essentially I learned to being more, to really improve in my communication skills, if I need help or not. And lastly, I finally understood what delegation is as a leader myself. So that's where, like, you know, I'm really happy that I've gone through this opportunity, and hopefully in the business that I'm doing right now, I can make it where I envision it, and hopefully I can make, not hopefully, I will make it successful. So that's it. That's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down on what is the lesson you have learned during this video. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.